Gotta start somewhere. And this is how we're starting Unbrandable content. I'm May, and this is the official podcast blog for all the projects and creative content produced by Unbrandable Media. Today, I'm going to be sitting down to have a conversation with Hillary O'Keefe. She plays Maggie, the lead in the upcoming release, The Living Fears. Hillary?
So, The Living Fears.
Yeah.
I am so excited for people to hear it because, this particular story, it combines very average, normal life, even in all of its drab splendor, if that's such a thing, but it really takes this basic day for someone, not a great day either, and it combines it with the supernatural, the creepy stuff, the spooky stuff. It doesn't really sound like your average horror story when it kicks off, and then it eventually gets there. But I really like the juxtaposition of those two sort of feels to it.
That sounds like a good description of The Living Fears.
Yep.
I would say that it has a certain, strength that comes from the blending of the two different worlds. Normal life and supernatural or paranormal activity together without making it so in your face that you're combining two separate worlds.
Yeah, it's subtle. And that's the way Dennis writes a lot of his stuff, which is really fun.
He does a good job blending things from a natural and unnatural world without making it seem so off or weird.
Mm-hmm. It all fits.
On the topic of The Living Fears, you're the voice for, Maggie, the deputy who we follow through the story, right?
Correct.
You're portraying the female lead in a story told in the horror genre. At any point, did you feel at all concerned that you'd be stereotyped or pushed into a type of performance you're not comfortable with?
Well, like from an actor's standpoint, I don't think so, because that's not my main wheelhouse. I can definitely get there. I can do those characters, but I don't think that'll be the lasting impression people take away from this, simply because the character, it doesn't fit that trope. It's not this, helpless lady who is running through the woods, and she trips and falls and turns around, and there's the monster, and it eats her up or whatever.
Eats her up.
Yeah, just wrecks her day. That's not this at all. And the way, and Dennis made sure to keep Maggie's, her personality, her humanity, her sensibilities. All of that is so much front and center. To me, at least, it doesn't feel like your typical horror scream queen kind of thing. If anything, I think it steps out of that typically female gender stereotype, and she puts forward a much more neutral, if not slightly masculine, energy throughout. So yeah, I'm not too worried about that.
So you and Maggie are both somewhat similar, and I've been able to tell that just by working with you before, and I want to see how you feel you relate to Maggie.
Well, reading through Maggie's story for the first time, I understood why Dennis asked me to do this role. Maggie and I have a similar sense of duty when it comes to doing what's right. Like, that appealed to me. She also approaches things pragmatically and with, a sense of sort of rational scientific curiosity. She doesn't go into this house thinking, oh boy, there's some really creepy supernatural stuff in here and it's absolutely going to be the end of me. No, she goes in thinking, I just need to extract these children from this, from this environment. And that's what I'm going to do. I don't want to be here. It's late. The weather's gross, but I'm going to do it anyway. I can relate to that 100%.
So you're saying that's how you relate to Maggie. Are there any things about working with or as Maggie that pushes you out of your comfort zone and makes you feel iffy about your performance?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. This is my first attempt at portraying a character that was truly in pain towards the end, truly in a state of panic, but she's also really trying very hard to sound not just in charge of her own emotions and her own experience, but like she's trying to intimidate the forces around her. Getting to that point was not easy, not going to lie. I don't think that those are things that I can just call upon in my everyday life experience because, hey, I've got, nice friends and I live in a nice home. Like there's nothing there that challenges me physically or mentally like that. So that took a couple of tries easily towards the end. And the act of screaming, which, this is a horror. It's no spoiler here.
No, it's not a horror. It's not scary at all.
There's going to be screaming in it. No spoiler. Getting to the point physically where I sounded legit like I was, like what was happening in the story was happening to me, getting that across on the microphone wasn't easy. It is a full body experience. It is something you got to picture a lot of things in your mind going on. It's just a head to toe effort. And it absolutely wiped me out, 100%. I think there's always this concern, like, am I going to be good enough? Am I going to be able to deliver what people want 10 years from now, 15, even 20? Especially as my voice changes, I get older,
You mean normal human things?
I was going to say, it's typical, like, am I good enough actor stuff.
That's also, am I good enough teenager stuff?
That's true.
Every high schooler in the world.
Now that you mention it, it does kind of feel like that. Maybe you can relate, thinking that perhaps everyone is judging you all the time.
No, that's just called anxiety.
Okay, that's what that is. All right. Well, in this line of work,
I can relate to that.
In this line of work, you are literally being judged all the time. You are being judged critically, quickly. And that's how...
As you would be in any media job.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I mean, anywhere you work in media, the feedback from the director or the producer or anyone like that, them saying, I don't think you should sound like that, or I think you should sound like this instead, that can hurt. But what will hurt worse is comments, because if people can hurt you, the people that watch the show, listen to the show, will try to hurt you. Listen to, right?
There's a two-part answer. The first one is, I'm not reading any comments. I'm just not. I'm not. And that's for my sanity, and that's for my mental health and well-being. So there. If people want to tell me that it's the worst thing they've ever heard, they are entitled to that opinion, and I wish them all the best in life. Now, the second part to this question is that working with Dennis, it's such a good experience. He offers such support as a director because he already knows what he wants me to sound like before.
Because he wrote the characters.
Well, right. I mean, obviously, but even between a couple of takes with these like just super nuanced differences, he already knew that my second take was better than my first take, even though they sounded very, very similar. Like, that's how specific he gets, and that's how well he knows the universe that he's written. He sees these people, he understands, he knows what their voices sound like, he knows what's going on inside their heads, and as a result, he can direct me with such accuracy that, like, takes happen quickly. He's happy. I'm happy because I'm, succeeding in bringing his vision to life. It's really nice to work with him for that.
Yeah. You said that you're not going to read any comments.
Mm-hmm.
I will be reading them.
Do you have experience doing that? Do you know how to not feed the trolls?
I'm a moderator on so many TikTok lives. I'm the person that's just like, I won't give second chances.
All right.
Because if you're going to be mean, you don't deserve to be here.
You rule with an iron fist, and that's okay.
I don't just rule with an iron fist. Sometimes if I'm feeling mean or sarcastic, I will respond to the trolls' comments.
Something tells me you respond without cupcakes and rainbows.
No. I'm very much like some other people you may work with. I'm like, if you're going to be mean, I'm going to have a comeback and it's not going to be nice.
Okay. You're prepared. Good. That's good.
I had to learn to do more of this because of quarantine. I had to not let people get to me online.
Definitely. And a thicker skin can't hurt you in life, really. As long as you maintain your,
Especially for high school.
Yeah, exactly. The quicker you figure out that it really doesn't matter what people think, the better off you'll be in life. That's all that really matters, truthfully.
As long as you're happy and doing what you enjoy, then you should be fine.
Exactly.
Is there another piece of advice that might have stuck with you most in your life?
Ooh. I kind of wish I had taken that advice earlier in life, because I still do suffer from some pretty heavy performance anxiety, but it's nowhere close to where I was 10 years ago. When I think about the comfort I have in front of the microphone and how much, I still can't believe that people pay me to do something that absolutely lights my heart on fire. I still can't get over that. And when I think back to how frightened I was of experiencing that, in addition to, the judgment and the hard work and the potential for failure, the stark potential for the stark potential for failure. I wish that I
forget words too.
I do forget words. I use them all day, and by the end of the day, I run out, and there are no more. But
Yeah.
when I think back to how I felt back then and compare that to how I feel now, the difference is night and day. And if I could tap 25-year-old Hillary on the shoulder and say, just trust me, you want to do this. Just dive in. That's all it takes. And if it really sucks, you at least then find out once you're in it. But don't stand on the sidelines and assume you know everything that's going to happen, because you don't.
That makes sense. Don't try and assume you know the most. Was there somebody that helped you learn those lessons, or did you have a big inspiration?
Well, when I think about other voice actors that have really made it, there's no one that stands out in particular. But the more I learned about what they did, how they did it, that was real motivation. That was inspiration for me to get my act together and do what my heart and soul were really calling out for. So I think the industry in general, it's both terrifying and inspiring at the same time. See these heavyweights like John DiMaggio, Tara Strong, can you imagine living?
You're fine. You're working on horror projects.
That's what I'm saying. Can you imagine living that life? And I make no assumptions about what their life is actually like, but to get to that upper echelon of voice actors, it's a dream. So it's kind of like I've been chasing that. Well, they did it. They're humans.
Wait,
Maybe
they're
I
humans
can too.
No, they're aliens.
Actually, yeah, no, you're right. They might be. They very well might be.
I have faith that you're going to become very amazing at voice acting.
Why, thank you, May. That's sweet of you to say.
You have a great voice.
I appreciate that.
You know where you did show it off very well, though?
Where?
Your band.
Oh, yes. Yeah. The pretty good musicians.
The good old days.
They were, though. Life was simpler. Nobody was thinking about pandemics or Donald Trump as president. It just, none of that was anywhere close to reality. It was such a fun and short-lived experience. And I do look at that as one of the first times I pushed myself out of my comfort zone to perform and then be judged. And lo and behold, people liked it. To this day,
because you're amazing.
Thank you, but I'm not going to say the band was a joke, but we certainly did it more for fun than anything else.
That's the point.
Thanks to Matt being such a gifted musician and Ian being quite gifted as well, the three of us managed to create some really fun stuff. And it's sad that it ended, but I also think we burned a little bit too bright, and that maybe we weren't destined to carry on for years and years and years.
Having fun is kind of the point of a band.
Oh, absolutely.
It's not usually for serious reasons or for money. Most people don't start a band for that. They start it for the fun of it.
I believe that, yeah.
I'm 14 years old and I'm doing voice work. Do you think I'm doing it because I need the money?
Hopefully not.
I'm doing it because I'm having fun.
Good. Then it'll never be work for you.
I love the people we're working with, and this team is just
Agreed.
amazing.
Everybody's super cool.
Dennis and Pam, they're both amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And our team of editors, everyone is just great to work with.
Oh, yeah. And can I give a shout out to the other actors on this project? Holy smokes.
Yes, they are so good.
So good.
So talented.
Like, I still get goosebumps thinking about Mark's delivery of, and I don't want to do too much to reveal what's really happening in the story because I want y'all to go listen to it. His delivery of his character is so creepy and it's so perfect. And he doesn't sound like a normal human being when he's doing it. And I think that's great. And, you know, the actress that does Boy is equally as, their voice is such a departure.
Talented.
Such a departure from what you might think of if you saw her. Like, she really transforms into that character.
The way you've worked with us on The Living Fears has been so amazing. And you're working with us on another upcoming project, correct? And are you excited for that project to come out?
Oh, well, first, thank you. And yeah, I don't know how much I can say about it though, but I will.
Not much.
I will say this. It's a slightly bigger universe than this one particular story. This one installment of the Living Fears series, and that by itself is huge. It's a bigger, brighter, more complex universe, and to be a part of that was, again, incredible. Such a wonderful opportunity.
Dennis writes his own worlds. They're always so crazy, but they always have boundaries. If we set no boundaries for you and you could do whatever you wanted or write whatever you wanted and it had no boundaries, what would you write about?
Oh, wow. That's a big question, but here we go. Let's see. I mean, I would take care of the usual stuff that presses on everybody. The state of the climate, a lot of inequality, sickness, lack of education, people starving, just there's
hunger.
Yes, there's a lot of pain and misery out there that if I could snap my fingers, I'd love to take care of with ease. That's the easiest decision to make. But if I had unlimited resources for myself, I mean, the first thing I would do, hate to say it, but I would quit my current job. Not that I don't love everybody there, and not that I don't love the work that I do and the company and its mission that I do it for.
Hillary's job, if you're listening, she loves you all.
I do, though. They're super cool people. I love working there. I would quit that job, however, because I would want to do voice stuff full time, and not necessarily to get paid for it because, well, I wouldn't need the money. But to do things like read audiobooks for the blind and just try every single different genre and script that I could get my hands on. Just try everything, I would do a ton of traveling. I would set up roller derby facilities all across the country. I'm talking like state-of-the-art, flat track with, physical trainers, rehab specialists, on-site childcare, free gear for everybody. And it's because I want to make roller skating and, roller derby a legit sport that everybody thinks of just like they would baseball or soccer or whatever. I would love to bring that up to the forefront of possibilities for people, especially women.
Is roller derby something you would enjoy doing in your free time if you didn't have work?
Oh, yeah. I used to do it.
Ooh, that sounds like
Yeah.
a fun experience.
It was interesting, for sure.
Let's see if I can find it on the internet.
Oh, no, you won't. You won't.
Oh, that's sad.
I know.
I did find your band, though.
I know that. You're a fan. Just say it. Just say it. You're a fan.
No one said that.
Okay, fine. Fine.
I found
Willard-
it because Dennis found it and showed it to a whole bunch of us.
Yes, and that is why he first contacted me about doing voice work for one
Really?
of his stories. Yep.
That is amazing. So you've been part of his plan for a while now?
Yeah. I mean, we've been friends since like 2013, 2014, something like that.
That was like when I was little.
Yeah. And I've never met him in person, by the way.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's interesting.
He's one of my closest buddies, but never met him in person. And yeah, he's great to work with. So I forgot the original question.
So did I. It's okay. We'll just move on.
Cool. Great.
So we were talking about what you like doing in your free time because you said you used to be in a roller derby.
Oh, yeah. So I love skating. I certainly haven't been doing enough of that lately. Been busy for the past 6 months. I've been, building out a client book for my voiceover business, and it's working, but I haven't had a ton of time to do the fun things that I usually do in my spare time. Like, I love drawing and cooking, finding people to just sit down and chat with, like other humans, because I do work from home by myself. Yeah, doing stuff like this, exactly. Chatting with you. I'm kind of a tinkerer, craft person. Like I love to build things with my hands. Tinkering.
Like tinkering?
Like
Like Tinkerbell?
Sure. Yeah.
The
Okay.
Tinker Fairies. They like to build things.
Okay. There you go. Yes.
Don't question that.
I just know. I just learned that is the origin. It's Tinker Fairies. They build things.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Cool. Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I just learned something today.
That's why her name is Tinkerbell, because when she was born, she was sort of an orphan, but she was born into the Tinker Fairies. And so they named her Tinkerbell because bells are something they make.
Amazing. I'm so happy that I know that now. Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's fantastic.
My odd knowledge on weird things helps out sometimes.
It's always helpful. Keep doing that. Keep that up.
You like to tinker, though? What do you like to make?
It's mostly just working with my hands. Knitting. Like I built a small greenhouse for my indoor plants this past winter because the home I'm living in, the windows are old, not very well insulated. So I got some dowels and some wire and some of that weatherproof plastic stuff that you put on your own windows and built a little greenhouse. And it helped. I mean, it was probably like 2 or 3 degrees warmer.
Isn't it hard to have a greenhouse in Texas?
Well, this is indoors. I have
I was very concerned. I was like,
Yeah,
isn't it very hot in Texas?
No. So this winter in Austin here, we had the whole freeze fiasco.
Ooh, that's so fun.
It's, what a nightmare. But the plants I have are small, like they're literally miniatures, and I don't have a very green thumb. So I'm like holding on to faith, and I've had them for about 7 months. Fingers crossed that they stay with me and I don't kill them like I have many other plants.
We don't want death in the fam.
No. I do not want to kill plants. I want to keep them alive. And the greenhouse helped with that. It was probably about 2 to 4 degrees warmer with the greenhouse around them than it was in the rest of my house, sort of in the ambient air temperature. So yeah, that's a perfect example of me. I like building things, or
You
knitting,
probably
or
keep your house actually warm, though.
Oh yeah.
My parents like to freeze me.
They tell you to go put a sweater on.
Yes, they keep
And socks.
it at 71 here. They're
Well, it's
trying to
hot
freeze me
outside,
out.
therefore your house is
It's
freezing.
only 86 outside.
Yeah, well, he or she who pays the bills controls the thermostat.
Which is why I just wear hoodies all day.
Shouldn't complain about that. That's a good life. You just wear hoodies all day.
Yeah. Hoodies are comfy.
Mm-hmm.
I only have 2 questions left, and they're ones we haven't touched on yet.
Okay.
So I haven't asked you them before. One was, how would you describe yourself in 3 words?
Oh, boy.
Or less. You can use 1 word if you want to.
How do you not sound like a self-centered tool bag when answering this question?
I've got a few for you. Amazing. Talented.
As Dennis says, I'm not just blowing sunshine up your skirt, because I think you're blowing sunshine up my skirt. No, thank you.
Said who?
That's sweet of you. It's very, very kind of you to say. If I'm taking a critical look at myself, describing myself in 3 words, I consider myself creative first and foremost, and that's in all aspects of life, not just in the arts, but in solving business problems. And
you made a greenhouse.
There you go. Yeah.
Creative.
Thank you. This is kind of a family trait, and I see this in my siblings and my parents, but we all really, really, really like to make people laugh. And I'm not going to call us comics or clowns or anything like that. Maybe
obviously not a comic. You're not a book.
No. What? Oh, my God. Walked into that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. So I'm not going to, I would call it, I would say it's more of a humorist thing, just more of an appreciation of things that people find funny and wanting to share that and wanting to help people laugh, So a final one?
You're caring. Not just to others. Not just caring about what others feel, but you're caring about plants, making sure that they won't die, about your performance, making sure it's good enough. You care what the listeners would feel or think. You care about everything, and it's really nice. But it can also be a bad trait because it could be self-destructive.
I'll take that.
Because you could be over-caring.
I will take that. That's a very human part of me. I do look out for others, don't often look out for myself enough.
You need to take care of yourself.
Oh, I know. Like after this, I'm going to the gym to swim because...
Such a hypocrite. I'm such a hypocrite.
Oh, my God. Your life is shaped by your thoughts.
Well, I am a hypocrite. I know that. I tell people not to drink too much caffeine, but I'm over here downing a monster.
Slugging away at a monster. We are, to err is human and everything. We are all weird, hairless monkeys just trying to get by.
No, I love my hair. I am not hairless.
I'm just going to throw this out there and say that you're probably mostly hairless. The majority of your body is hairless.
Well, you're not
furless.
Wrong.
How about furless?
Furless, yeah.
You are furless. This is the weirdest interview I have ever been a part of.
You know who probably is hairless?
Oh, God, who? What?
This is going to sound really bad. I know cancer patients, when they take chemotherapy, their hair falls out, but does, all their hair fall out, or just their hair on their head?
I think it depends on the person, but...
Are they just completely bald all over their body then?
I think it might depend on the person, the severity of the chemo treatment. You might just lose the hair on your head because I think it grows at a different cycle rate than, your eyebrows or your eyelashes or your arm hair or whatever.
Ooh, imagine someone without eyelashes.
They do exist. Alopecia is a thing.
Big words. But, yeah, we are all very human, so I learned something new about you today. You have siblings.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've got an older brother named Doug, a younger brother named John. Oh, is Doug funny? Oh, is that name funny?
Yeah, just a little bit.
Why?
It reminds me of an old man from an old cartoon.
Oh. Okay.
Doug the dog.
Is that from
Wasn't that
Up?
a cartoon? I swear it was.
Is that from Up?
Yeah.
Is that Doug the dog? Okay. And then I have a younger sister, Meredith, She's the
That's
coolest.
so pretty.
Isn't that a nice name? She's pretty, too.
My sister is the most beautiful person on the planet, though.
I beg to differ.
Fair enough.
Because it's my sister is the most beautiful person in the world. No, it's mine.
Mine's 5 years old.
Oh. Mine's 32.
Mine's still the prettiest person on the human Earth.
She probably
the human
has...
Earth.
As opposed to the astral plane?
I don't know. On the crust of the Earth.
Okay. For all the lizard people living below the mantle, what up?
Yeah. All the lizard people, hi.
Hi. Your sister probably has some adorable abilities that my older sister doesn't, so that might be the tipping point.
Well, she's also the baby of the family, so she kind of gets away with everything.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this might be a little bit of too much information, but my parents are separated, so I'm the baby of the family at one of my houses, and I love being the baby. Because it means I'm the adorable one.
Not a bad place to be in life.
Being the cute one.
Mm-hmm.
Especially because I still mess up on words, and I forgot what silent letters were, so I called them invisible letters.
Yes. Because they kind of are. From an audio standpoint, they are invisible.
Which I've been working on audio recently, so it's kind of obvious that's where my brain went.
Yeah. Makes sense to me.
See, someone gets it.
Yep, I get it.
You're cool.
Well, thank you.
I can see why Dennis decided to work with you.
May, that is so sweet of you. You're cool, too.
I know, I'm always cold. Dennis said we may be doing a table read at some point.
That's my excited noise. I'm very happy.
Hillary wants to do a table read.
I do. I want to meet people in person.
We've only ever done a table read once, and it was over Zoom. And now that hopefully most of us are fully vaccinated, we might be able to do one.
Yeah, figure it out.
I'm fully vaccinated.
I am too.
And so hopefully maybe we can all meet up.
That would be wonderful.
Is there any other information on the project that you feel you should share with me and the listeners?
More information about the project. It's a really cool, honest take about the intersection between spooky, supernatural stuff and like an average everyday life. And I think that's going to make it relatable, but also interesting. Maybe even suspenseful, and maybe even give people this notion that something like that could happen to them, you know, because reality and unreality are so closely smashed together in this case.
Yeah.
I recommend everybody listens to it. Maggie stands up against other, I'd say, typical heroines in horror stories. Like, she holds her own, and she doesn't fit into that typical helpless, screaming, helpless scream queen stereotype.
Yeah.
She's much more of a Jamie Lee Curtis, you know. And then there's the sound quality and the mixing and the way Dennis and his crew, they all put their heads together and literally created an environment. It's so creepy to hear all of the details that they chose to highlight. Like someone's walking through a hallway. You can practically feel the grit and the dust under their shoes. Things creak. You hear strange random stuff that you can easily recognize as coming from like outside of the house. The sound editing, the composition, it's so good. It's so good.
Okay. Wow. Well, I've just got to say thank you for taking the time to sit with me today and talk about the living fears and voice acting and, well, everything. You're amazing, Hillary. An inspiration. I can't wait to hear what you have in store for us next. This has been May from Unbrandable Media. Thanks again for being here, Hillary, and thank you all for listening. Till next time.